This is PJ with Fox Tree Farm. We wanted to walk you through our process and how we move a tree like this into your yard. Yeah, that looks good. We're at a property here in Holt, so we are doing 2 Norway spruce on their back property line. And the goal with these is privacy. You know, a lot of people use evergreens as a privacy tree. So right now Lucas he unlatched the lock on there, lowering the spade. He's gonna lift up all the blades on this and set it down, make sure we're centered on the flag, and we'll get going. Looks like he'll probably need to pull forward probably just about a foot, get centered on the flag. I'm gonna make sure he gets in the right spot. Good. This spade does have cameras in it too, which is really nice. They are internal in the spade, so how he has it setting now, he couldn't have seen, but when he has a spade down, he's backing up to a tree, it helps him see the trunk, make sure he's centered, so it's really handy to have those kind of built into the tree spade. I think there's 3 cameras in total. You got 2 side views and 1 front view, so you make sure you're going in centered. We're gonna center the tower. You gotta make sure that that tower is plumb, or else that tree might not go in perfectly. So we want to eliminate anything we can to make sure the tree goes in straight. So we're plumb in that direction. Now we're gonna check this other. Looks good. Typically, Lucas drops these blades in 1 by 1, alternating sides to make sure we don't torque the spade in any way it shouldn't. And he'll essentially go down until he feels back pressure from the hydraulic cylinders, and then he'll pull it up and then move to another one. Pull it up, move to the other one. So this process allows us to dig into the ground fairly quickly. This truck is also rigged with a water tank, so when we have dry conditions, we can run water. There's hoses that come out and it shoots out just in front of the blade. It can help penetrate the ground, moisten it up if we're digging in hard areas, and it can help us fly through some really solid dirt if needed. So looks like he's just about done with this hole. He's got to go down about another foot, and then we'll pull this out of the ground. So he's got all the spades bottomed out. He's lifting up his stabilizer, and then we will lift this plug up out of the ground. At this point, he's grabbing his spade tarp. So this will help keep any dirt from falling out of the spade, onto the roads, that sort of thing. It's a really handy tool to have just to make sure the roads are staying clean. We're not dropping anything on anyone's cars that are driving behind the truck. Make sure we can get to the farm safely to dig this next tree. All right, so we've got tarp all strapped up, and Lucas is tilting the spade back up onto the truck. We'll lock it in place, and we will get rolling to the farm. Back here at our farm, Lucas is backed up to an open hole that we have, and essentially he backed in, and we're gonna drop the plug that we dug at the client's property into the hole here, and then we will get backed up to the tree and get that dug. So we're getting Lucas backed up to this tree here. This is a very wide Norway spruce. So what we're gonna do is, as he's backing in, we're gonna lift some of these branches up and out of the way. I gotta lift his spade up just a touch. Let him get in there better. We've got 2 ways of doing this. Either we tie the branches up as he's going before he backs in, or we lift him up, and both ways you got branch breakage. So this way is usually quicker. So this is usually the way that we go about it. Let me go to the other side. Come back more. now we're gonna close the gate. And same thing, I'm gonna try to help guide some of these branches up. All right, you're good. And around this spade as he's closing this gate here. What's nice about a Norway spruce is the branches do bend pretty easily. A lot of customers like to take the bottom branches off of their trees anyways once they're transplanted. So a little breakage here and there is okay. So now we will center the tower, make sure it's straight on the tree, and we'll start digging. He's dropping his other stabilizer to help with holding the spade steady as he's digging. And this is pretty much the same process that we did at the client's property, but we're digging a tree, cutting through the roots, rather than just digging in open ground. This Norway spruce has about it's about a 6-inch trunk on it. In an evergreen, we can move up to an 8-inch evergreen. In shade and ornamental trees, we don't like to go bigger than 6 inches, just to make sure we're getting enough roots for the size of the tree that we're moving with our 65-inch tree spade. This is the best time of year to transplant trees. The trees are going dormant soon, whether that's your maple tree losing its leaves, that's going dormant after that point, or evergreens that keep foliage, they're usually dormant mid to late October. So they're not working as hard, they're not actively growing, they don't need as much water or care the rest of this year until next spring when they're starting to grow again. So this is that really good time to transplant a tree. And this is kind of when we're gonna push the limits too if we need to and move maybe something a little bigger, 6.5 inch in a shade tree, maybe a little bigger than an 8-inch in an evergreen, because it's gonna stress the tree the least because it's going into dormancy soon. So we got all the blades down. He's gonna lift this tree up out of the ground here. Occasionally we'll see roots sticking out, kind of like in the gaps of the spade here that couldn't get cut. If it's a large one, we'll prune those off, but it looks like we don't have any. So that dug pretty well. So we got the truck ready to roll, got the spade up, laid down, locked in place in the truck, stabilizers up. So Lucas is in and ready to roll out. Go back to that job site, put this in the hole we dug over there. So we got Lucas backed up to the hole we dug previously. We centered this flag on the axle so it helps him get lined up right with where he was. So when he drops the spade, it's gonna be directly in the same spot in the hole. So we're getting that stood up. We'll get the tarp taken off and then we'll set this tree down into the ground. So we're getting this lowered into the ground, and then he can actually usually use the spade to move the truck around if it's needed. We're gonna make sure that the tree itself is standing straight as we're gonna start releasing these blades. And these are gonna come up one at a time, similar to how we put them in the ground as well, so that that pod that comes with the tree releases evenly around, and you're not having one side drop in first before the other. So Lucas is now, like I said, he's slowly releasing the blades and he's alternating which ones are coming up so that pod releases all together at the same time, and that tree is going to drop right into that hole where we need it to. We got the tree and it's straight. We're just releasing the gate here. So that spade's gonna open on up and he's gonna slowly pull away from it. Usually pulling out is better than backing into it. There's not as many branches that you have to move away. We'll lay all these branches down. And this customer's got a new tree in their yard. Thanks for walking through our process with us. Lucas, he's got his second hole dug for the other tree that's going on this property, on the way all up to the farm already to get that tree and get going on that. If you have any need for any large trees in your yard, give us a call. We'd be happy to help you out.